The ocean stretches beyond the horizon, endless and unbroken. Its surface shines like glass, yet hides mysteries below. Waves rise and fall, breathing with a rhythm older than time. Beneath the calm lies a world untouched by human eyes. The abyss waits, deep and silent, eternal in its stillness. Legends whisper of a god who dwells within those depths. His name drifts like a tide across centuries, Poseidon. He is not only the ruler of waters, but their living soul. Every current carries his voice, soft as a sigh, strong as a storm. Every tide is his heartbeat, steady, unyielding, eternal. The sailors of old feared him, yet also sought his grace. They offered prayers, hoping for calm seas and safe journeys. They felt his presence in the salt air and shifting winds. The abyss was his realm, vast and unknowable, yet alive. It was said to mirror both the sea and the human spirit. In its silence, hopes and fears find a place to rest. Tonight, we enter that abyss, guided by his unseen hand. We listen to the whispers of the sea's eternal keeper. We walk into the depths, where myth becomes memory, and memory becomes the story of Poseidon's eternal abyss. The sea is wide, the sea is endless. It stretches like a mirror beneath the sky. But the mirror hides more than it reveals. Beneath the shining surface, silence waits. It is not empty silence. It is a silence filled with meaning. The kind of silence that listens. The kind of silence that remembers. Down there, the light fades quickly. The sun touches only the surface. It dances in ripples, then disappears. Deeper still, colors fade away. Blue becomes black. Shapes vanish into shadow. And yet, the ocean is not dead. It is alive with secrets. Fish glide in patterns unseen by men. Whales sing songs older than empires. Creatures glow with lights of their own making. They are lanterns in the dark abyss. Their glow is soft, like dreams. They move slowly, with patience, as if time does not matter there. For in the depths, time feels different. It is slower, heavier, eternal. Every drop of water carries memory. Every current tells a story. The ocean floor is a library of forgotten worlds. Mountains rise where no human eyes have looked. Valleys sink deeper than any river can carve. There are forests of coral, old as stone. There are plains of sand, shifting forever. The silence carries weight, yet it does not crush. It comforts, like a blanket of stillness. The abyss does not rush. It waits. It listens. It has always listened. Those who dared to sail far out knew this. They looked into the water and felt small. They knew the abyss was endless. They felt it watching back, not with eyes, but with presence. The ocean knows when you arrive. The ocean knows when you leave. And in between, it holds you. It cradles ships on calm days. It tests them on restless nights. The sea has moods, like people do. It laughs in gentle waves. It sighs in rolling swells. It whispers in tides that kiss the shore. And when it wishes, it roars. But even in its storms, there is purpose. The abyss does not rage without meaning. It moves with thought, with rhythm. It is a heart that beats for the world. And at its center, unseen, waits a presence. A God who is not bound by stone or sky. A God whose home is the eternal deep. Poseidon. The name carries weight like thunder. Yet in the abyss, he is not always thunder. He is the silence itself. He is the pulse of the deep. He is the unseen watcher of the waves. Every current is his hand reaching out. Every tide is his breath upon the earth. He moves through the abyss like a thought. He is everywhere, yet nowhere. Some imagine him fierce. Others imagine him kind. But truth is found in the abyss. For here his presence is balance, not rage, not mercy. Something greater, something eternal. The abyss belongs to him, yet it also belongs to itself. And in this quiet, they are one. The silence is Poseidon, and Poseidon is the silence. This is the first truth of the sea. The abyss is never empty. It is always full. Full of dreams, full of memory, full of Poseidon. And those who listen may hear it. Those who listen may feel it. It is not a sound you hear with ears. It is a sound you hear with your soul. It tells you, you are small. It tells you, you are part of something vast. It tells you, you are not alone. The abyss has always been here, and it will always remain. Eternal, silent, infinite. The first step into Poseidon's realm. Before the sea had a master, the world was young. The earth was still shaping itself in silence. The sky was vast but unguarded. The underworld was deep but unclaimed. And the sea stretched wide, wild and untamed. From this beginning came three brothers. They were born of old titans shaped by chaos. Each was destined to hold a realm. Zeus rose to the thunder of the skies. Hades sank to the shadowed world below, and Poseidon was given the endless sea. His fate was tied to the water forever. He was not chosen by chance. He was born with the voice of waves. He carried the strength of shifting tides. He held the calm of silent depths. The sea recognized him as its keeper. It bent to his will with gentle reverence. He did not command through fear alone. He commanded because the ocean trusted him. When he raised his hand, the waters stirred. When he closed his eyes, the storms hushed. The sea breathed with him, in and out. He was part of it, and it of him. Poseidon grew strong, not just in body. He grew strong in spirit, tied to the deep. He learned the language of currents. He spoke with dolphins as brothers. He listened to the songs of whales. He learned wisdom from the slow-moving turtles. Every creature of the sea knew his name. Every wave carried whispers of his power. Yet Poseidon was not alone in his rise. His brothers carried their own destinies. Zeus ruled with lightning and command. Hades ruled with silence and shadow. And Poseidon ruled with rhythm and patience. The balance between them was delicate. It was said they cast lots for the realms. But some whispered the sea chose Poseidon. The abyss opened itself to him alone. No other could endure its endless weight. No other could listen to its eternal silence. Poseidon did not resist this fate. He embraced it as his own breath. For the sea was not a burden to him. It was a companion, a mirror, a home. And so the god of the sea was born, not as a conqueror, but as a guardian, not as a ruler above, but within. He walked the waves as if they were earth. He moved through storms as if they were doors. He rested in the abyss as if in bed. Poseidon's heart was tied to the ocean's heart. They beat together in endless rhythm. The sea gave him strength, and he gave it form. From his presence, currents grew steady. From his gaze, storms found their direction. From his silence, the abyss found meaning. But the story of Poseidon's birth was not just about power. It was about belonging. It was about a soul finding its place. Zeus belonged to the skies above. Hades belonged to the shadows below. And Poseidon belonged to the eternal sea. Even the stars reflected in his waters. Even the moon bowed to his tides. The ocean became a canvas of his being. And through it, the world knew balance. Poseidon was not merely a god. He was the sea made flesh, thought, and spirit. The sea without him would be chaos. He without the sea would be nothing. Together, they were eternal. Together, they were the abyss. And so began the reign of Poseidon. Not in fire, not in war, not in shadow, but in the endless embrace of water. the god of the sea, born of silence, the god of the sea, keeper of the abyss. This was the beginning of his eternity. The sea has a voice, but it needed a symbol, a mark that carried the weight of command, a sign that the ocean had chosen its keeper. From this need, the trident was born, not forged by mortal hands, but shaped by divine will. It rose from the abyss, gleaming like starlight in water. 3 prongs, sharp yet elegant, balanced in design. Each prong carried meaning, each line a truth. One for the tides that ebb and flow, one for the storms that rise and fall, one for the silence of the deep abyss. Together, they formed the power of the sea. Poseidon did not seize it. It came to him. The trident called to his hand, as if waiting. When he touched it, the waters stirred in answer. The waves bowed, the currents aligned, the abyss exhaled. It was not just a weapon. It was a key to unlock the rhythm of creation, a key to open paths through the seas. With it, Poseidon commanded not by force, but by harmony. He could calm the waves with a gesture. He could summon tides with a whisper. He could call rain to kiss the earth. He could part the sea for travelers in need. The trident was an extension of his being. It shimmered with the essence of ocean life. It pulsed with the strength of hidden currents. When he raised it, the sea listened. When he lowered it, the sea rested. Mortals feared its sight, yet also revered it. To them, the trident was both promise and warning. Promise of safe passage if respected, warning of the abyss if forgotten. Legends say it could strike the earth and shake mountains. They say it could open springs where none existed. But these were only fragments of its truth. Its greater power lay in balance. It was the anchor between chaos and calm. The trident reminded Poseidon of responsibility. That power was not possession, but trust. That the sea was not his to own. It was his to guide, to protect, to keep. The trident shone brightest in moments of stillness. When waves were soft, its glow was pure. When tides moved gently, its hum was steady. It reflected the truth of its master. Strong, yet restrained. Vast, yet patient. The sea without end, held in one hand. Poseidon's bond with it was unbreakable. It was not a tool he carried. It was a companion, living and eternal. The creatures of the ocean recognized its light. Dolphins leapt higher when it shone. Whales lifted their songs toward it. Even the smallest fish swam close without fear. For in its glow, they felt safe. They felt the presence of their keeper. Above the waves, mortals saw thunder in its gleam. Below the waves, the abyss saw comfort in its glow. The trident was both storm and peace. It was creation and stillness. It was the essence of Poseidon's rule. Many sought to claim it, but none could. For it was not made for mortals. It was born of the abyss and returned to it. Only Poseidon could hold it without fear. Only he could hear its silent song. Together, they were a bond eternal. The god and his trident, the sea and its keeper. The abyss had given him its heart, and he carried it, not as a crown, but as a vow to keep the waters in balance, a vow to guide the ocean through eternity. The trident was more than a gift. It was the soul of the sea itself, and Poseidon carried it with honor, forever bound, forever one. Far below the restless waves, a hidden kingdom waits. It is not marked on maps, nor reached by mortal ships. It lies where light has no power, where silence reigns. And yet, it shines with beauty brighter than the sun. This is the palace of Poseidon, heart of the abyss. It is carved not by stone, but by living coral. Walls rise like forests, glowing with soft colors. Pearls glimmer within their roots, reflecting eternal light. The sea itself shaped this palace for its master. Its halls stretch wide as canyons beneath the water. Its towers spiral like shells, curling toward the dark. At its gates, dolphins keep gentle watch. Beyond them, halls echo with the song of whales. The air is not air, but water alive with breath. It carries voices, songs, and the pulse of the sea. Every corridor glows with shifting light of creatures. Jellyfish drift like lanterns, slow and eternal. Schools of fish shimmer like falling stars. Turtles rest in corners, old as memory itself. Nereids dance through the water, guardians of beauty. They move with grace, singing in silent rhythm. Their voices carry blessings to the deep. At the heart of the palace rests Poseidon's throne. It is not made of gold, but coral and pearl. It is alive and growing and changing with time. The throne hums with the rhythm of the tides. When Poseidon sits, the sea quiets to listen. Every creature feels his presence, vast yet calm. The throne is not a seat of pride. It is a reminder of duty, a promise to the sea. From here, Poseidon watches the balance of his realm. He sees storms form before they touch the surface. He hears the whispers of waves on distant shores. He feels the pull of every tide and current. No detail escapes his notice, for the sea is him. His court is not like mortal courts of stone. There are no walls to trap the world outside. The ocean flows freely through its chambers. Every tide carries news. Every current brings memory. His subjects are creatures of endless variety. The hippocamps, half horse, half fish, swim like fire. The tritons, wise and ancient, speak with deep voices. The nereids, gentle and bright, tend to the waters. Each being holds a place in the eternal harmony. They do not bow from fear, but from respect. For they know Poseidon is not only ruler, he is the sea itself, the living force they belong to. In his kingdom, balance is law. There is no crown heavy with jewels. There is only the trident, glowing softly in his hand. It rests by his side, humming with silent promise. When he lifts it, the palace brightens. When he lowers it, the ocean breathes easy. This palace is not a fortress against enemies. It is a sanctuary for the sea's eternal guardians. Here, life flourishes in harmony with the deep. Coral gardens bloom like fields of flowers. Fish weave through them like wandering pilgrims. Even the sharks circle with patient grace. All are bound by Poseidon's quiet rule. Visitors from the mortal world rarely see it. Those who do return, changed forever. They speak of light in the darkness. They speak of beauty no words can hold. But most of all, they speak of presence. The feeling of standing in the heart of eternity. The sense of being seen by the abyss itself. Poseidon's kingdom is not only a place, it is a living reflection of the sea's spirit. A reminder that even in shadow, beauty thrives, and that within silence, the voice of eternity speaks. This is the kingdom beneath the waves. This is the eternal home of Poseidon. In the heart of the ocean, legends are not just spoken, they live. Among them is the story of the trident, Poseidon's eternal companion. It is not a weapon, nor a mere symbol of power. It is the voice of the sea itself, given form and light. Forged in the earliest days, when the world was still new, it was shaped by the breath of storms and the calm of tides. The trident carries the essence of the ocean's balance. It glows softly, not with fire, but with living water. Its tips hum with a song only the sea can hear. The song is older than gods, older than the memory of men. It is said the trident was born from the ocean's heart, a crystal of light, wrapped in coral, tempered by eternity. The nymphs of the deep carried it to Poseidon. They placed it in his hand, and the ocean rejoiced. From that moment, sea and God were one and whole. The trident does not bend to will, but to harmony. It listens only to those who honor the sea's truth. To others, it is silent, heavy, and without light. But in Poseidon's grasp, it flows like an extension of himself. Every current stirs at its call, every tide answers. It is a bridge between silence and storm, a reminder that the ocean is not chaos, but rhythm. When Poseidon raises the trident, waves bow in respect. When he lowers it, calm spreads like a lullaby. It does not bring fear, but reverence to all who see it. Creatures of the sea gather near when its glow appears. They sense its song, a hymn of unity and balance. Dolphins leap in spirals, whales sing low and deep. Even the smallest fish shimmer like fragments of stars. The trident binds them, not with force, but with belonging. It reminds them that the sea is home, eternal and safe. In his palace, the trident rests at his side. It hums gently, a heartbeat of the abyss. Its glow shifts like the moon across the waves. Sometimes silver, sometimes blue, always alive. Visitors who see it feel a strange calm. They speak of a presence, vast yet kind. Some say it looks into their souls, reading their truth. Others say it reflects their fears, then washes them away. But all agree it is more than an object. It is a living piece of eternity, impossible to describe. Poseidon himself does not boast of it. He holds it as one holds a promise kept. For the trident is not his alone. It belongs to the sea, to every wave and drop. He is only its keeper, chosen by the ocean's will, and he honors that duty with every breath. When storms rise, the trident steadies the world. When tides shift, it guides their rhythm with grace. It is not a force of destruction, but of balance. A light in the dark, a song in the silence. Legends among sailors tell of glimpses of it, a glow beneath the waves during storms at sea. They claim it saved ships from ruin, guiding them home. Others say it tested their hearts, judging their worth. But the truth is simpler and far more profound. The trident listens, and the sea remembers. It remembers kindness, courage, and respect for its depths. It carries those memories into the eternal song. And so the trident endures, timeless as the ocean. A beacon of harmony, a bond between God and sea. It waits in Poseidon's hand, gentle yet unyielding. Silent to many, but to the ocean, it speaks forever. Far from mortal eyes, the ocean holds places older than memory. These are the sanctuaries of the deep, hidden beyond mortal reach. They are not marked by stars or currents, but by silence. Places where time slows and eternity breathes through the water. One such place lies in the abyssal valley of whispers. A canyon so vast it seems without end or measure. Its walls rise like mountains, yet they never touch the light. Darkness rules there, yet it is not empty. The valley hums with voices, soft as drifting tides. They are not words, but songs of the ocean's memory. The whispers carry tales of storms long past. They speak of ships swallowed and sailors saved. They sing of peace, of harmony, of the sea's eternal flow. Creatures of the deep gather there in silence. Giant squids drift like shadows, their eyes calm and watching. Lanternfish glow faintly, like stars in a midnight sky. Ancient turtles rest in crevices, unmoved by passing ages. All are bound by the quiet law of this sacred place. For here, the sea remembers everything it has ever touched. Every tear shed upon the shore lives in its depths. Every prayer whispered by sailors rests in its currents. Every song sung to the waves lingers in the dark. The abyssal valley holds them, like a library of the sea. Poseidon often walks this place in solemn silence. He does not come as ruler, but as guardian of memory. He listens to the whispers, letting them pass through him. They remind him of both sorrow and beauty. They remind him that the sea is more than water. It is a keeper of all things forgotten by time. The whispers rise when he enters, soft yet powerful. They greet him as if greeting the sea itself, and in return, he bows his head in quiet respect. For even a god honors the weight of memory. In the valley, the trident glows with a different light. Its hum deepens, joining the song of eternity. Together, sea and god weave harmony into silence. Sometimes, mortals speak of dreams of this place. Dreams where they walk among the shadows of the deep. They hear whispers in languages they cannot name. Yet when they wake, they feel strangely comforted, as if the ocean itself had held them for a time. Perhaps these are gifts from the valley, sent to remind humankind that the sea is alive and eternal, that even in darkness, there is light and presence. Other sanctuaries lie scattered through the endless deep, fields of coral that bloom though no sun can touch them, grottos where pearls shine brighter than stars, wells where water sings like crystal bells. Each one carries a fragment of eternity. Each one reminds Poseidon of his endless duty. For the ocean is not simply vast. It is sacred, alive with memory and spirit. The sanctuaries stand as proof of that eternal truth. They are not places of power, but of peace. They are where the ocean dreams and where time rests. Poseidon walks them not as conqueror, but as keeper. He knows the weight of the memories they guard, and he knows his task is to honor them forever. So when storms rage above, when tides clash on shores, he remembers these silent places, unbroken and eternal, and he carries their calm into the heart of the sea. The sanctuaries remind him, and all who listen, that even the wildest ocean has places of peace, and that within its depths, eternity whispers softly, waiting for those who are willing to hear. On the surface, the sea seems vast and untamed, but its life begins in unity. Every creature, from the smallest plankton to the greatest whale, carries a purpose. Together, they weave the ocean's endless cycle, a rhythm Poseidon guards closely. It is not chaos, but harmony, hidden beneath the waves' restless dance. The smallest beings are the unseen builders of the deep. Plankton drift with the currents, tiny as dust, yet they feed the world. Their glow in the dark creates rivers of light across the abyss. Fish follow these trails like wanderers guided by stars. Dolphins leap between them, laughing in eternal play. Whales pass through, their voices echoing like thunder in the silence. Each call is a story, a song passed across miles of water. They sing of migration, of journeys long and ancient. Even sharks, so often feared, play their role with grace. They are guardians of balance, moving with quiet dignity. They hunt not for cruelty, but to keep the sea in harmony. Sea turtles wander as pilgrims, crossing oceans without fear or haste. Their shells carry maps older than human memory. When they return to the beaches, it is a hymn of life renewed. The coral reefs are temples of color, breathing with countless voices. Tiny fish dart between them like sparks of living fire. Crabs scuttle through crevices, patient keepers of the coral halls. Octopuses hide in shadows, their eyes filled with ancient wisdom. Above, the currents swirl, carrying food, song, and memory. Every drop of water bears the breath of something alive. This endless exchange is the sea's heartbeat, steady and eternal. and Poseidon feels it in every motion, every tide. He is not a distant ruler, but a part of this cycle. Through him, the ocean listens, remembers, and speaks. When whales sing, their songs reach him like prayers. When dolphins play, their joy hums through his veins. When storms rise, he feels the strain on every creature. And he answers not with wrath, but with balance restored. For in his eyes, the sea is not power, but community. It is a vast family, bound by water and memory. Each being, no matter how small, holds sacred worth. And each life is a thread in the ocean's great tapestry. Sometimes, mortals forget this truth. They see the sea as endless, meant to be taken. But the ocean remembers, and so does Poseidon. He listens to the plankton's glow, to the whale's song. He watches the reefs bloom and fade, only to rise again. He feels the steady return of turtles to their shores. And he carries these moments as eternal promises. The sea does not ask for worship, only respect. It does not demand offerings, only harmony with its rhythm. For those who listen, it speaks softly of belonging. It whispers that every creature has its place and meaning. Even in the deepest dark, life finds a way to shine. Even in the strongest storm, balance waits beneath the waves. And in this, Poseidon finds his truest calling. Not as master, not as conqueror, but as keeper of life. The eternal abyss is alive, not with fear, but with unity. It is a hymn sung by countless voices, woven into one. And every wave upon the shore carries that same truth. A reminder that the sea is not only vast, but alive. A reminder that its life is endless, eternal as the God who keeps it. Beneath the vast waters, the ocean is more than currents and tides. It is a realm of bonds where kinship flows like unseen rivers. Every creature knows its place, and every bond tells a story. And Poseidon, the eternal guardian, listens to them all. The sea is not silent. It speaks through connection. Whales call to one another across thousands of miles. Their songs weave bridges across the endless blue. Each note a promise, each echo a reunion of kin. Dolphins leap together, never wandering far from their pod. Their laughter is a language, rich with trust and play. They protect one another, weaving circles of unity. Their bonds are lessons in loyalty carried on the waves. Sea turtles travel alone, yet their hearts remain tied. No matter how far they roam, the shore calls them back. It is not only instinct, but memory, deep and eternal. The sand remembers their return, a cycle unbroken. Coral reefs are not simply stone, but living communities. Tiny fish dart in clusters, safe within their shining walls. Crabs clean the reef as caretakers, patient and tireless. Octopuses watch quietly, guardians of shadowed corners. Together they form a city, alive with unspoken bonds. Every life is connected, every motion part of harmony. Poseidon feels these ties as threads within his spirit. Each bond strengthens the ocean, binding it into one. Even the currents themselves carry connection. A drop of water leaves the shore and years later returns. It carries whispers of far-off places back to its origin. It carries memory, binding seas together as family. Poseidon knows these ties better than any mortal. He hears the songs of whales, the calls of dolphins. He feels the pull of turtles to their ancient shores. He sees the endless reunion within the reefs. It reminds him that the sea is not only vast, it is intimate, built on countless bonds of love. For the ocean is not merely water, it is kinship. And kinship is its truest strength. Mortals often think of the sea as untamed. They imagine it wild, restless, and without care. Yet they forget the bonds that flow beneath. The ocean is held together by its own love. Even storms cannot break these ties. When waves crash, creatures find one another again. When tides shift, families reunite with gentle certainty. And when darkness falls, the bonds shine brighter than light. Poseidon himself is bound by these threads. He does not rule above them, but within them. His bond with the sea is not command, but belonging. He is not apart from the ocean, but one with it. This truth is what makes the abyss eternal. For the bonds of the sea cannot be broken. They endure longer than storms, longer than time. Even death cannot sever them, for the ocean remembers. Every song, every call, every return is eternal. It flows through Poseidon as a living memory. And so he walks the abyss, not as a king, but as a brother, a father, a guardian of bonds. Every current carries kinship. Every tide carries love. And in that love, the sea finds its eternal strength. A strength that holds the world, steady as the tide. A strength that whispers to mortals, if they will listen, that the ocean is not only deep, it is family. And family is eternal, as endless as the sea itself. Far below the surface, the ocean holds places untouched by time. These are the hidden sanctuaries of the deep. Caves carved by currents whisper stories older than the moon. Their walls shimmer with crystals kissed by lightless ages. Here, silence is sacred, and stillness is alive. Poseidon walks these halls not as master, but as pilgrim. He listens to the quiet, the heartbeat of the abyss. Every drip, every current, speaks in a language of patience. In the shadows, strange creatures dwell unseen. Jellyfish drift like ghosts, their glow pulsing in rhythm. Their light paints the caverns with hues of forgotten dawn. Blind fish weave through narrow cracks, guided by touch. Their movements are poems, delicate and certain. Crabs climb walls of stone, patient as sculptors. Even in darkness, creation finds its canvas. These sanctuaries are temples without walls or priests. They belong to no one, yet welcome all who enter. Coral pillars rise like cathedrals frozen in time. Anemones wave as choirs, swaying in eternal hymn. Every life here adds to the chorus of the deep. Poseidon kneels among them, humbled by their endurance. For here, power is not strength, but survival. The smallest being teaches him lessons of resilience. He watches a shrimp clean the shell of a snail. In their quiet exchange, he sees devotion, not grand, not loud, but steady and real. He sees the truth that sanctuaries are made of care, not of stone, not of walls, but of presence. The sea's sanctuaries are alive because they are shared. Every creature plays its part without pride or demand. And together, they create a harmony stronger than storms. Mortals do not often see these places. They think of the sea as endless blue, above. They forget the hidden temples beneath. Yet these sanctuaries hold the ocean's memory. They are where life first began, cradled in stillness, and where life will always return when the tides fade. Poseidon guards them not with tridents, but with reverence. He keeps them alive by honoring their silence. He carries their memory into every tide he calls. For the sanctuaries of the deep are eternal. Even storms cannot reach their quiet strength. Even time cannot erase their sacred rhythm. They are the heartbeats of the abyss, slow and steady. And Poseidon knows that without them, the sea would falter. It is here he feels most at home, not in the roar of waves, but in the hush of caverns, not in the lightning above, but in the glow below. Here, he remembers his role as not only guardian, he is also witness, listener, and keeper of silence. The sanctuaries remind him of eternity, that life endures not by force, but by harmony. that stillness is as holy as motion, that even the smallest flame of life holds meaning. And so Poseidon carries their lesson into the tides. He whispers it into waves that kiss the shore. He hides it in the calm that follows the storm. The sanctuaries of the deep are his greatest treasure. They are his proof that the ocean is eternal. And through them, he knows the abyss is alive. Alive with silence, alive with song, alive with memory. A memory that belongs not only to gods, but to all. Above the reefs and sanctuaries, there are realms of shifting wonder. The tides weave them, ever changing, never the same twice. Sandbars rise and fall, drawn by the moon's ancient pull. Shallow lagoons glisten, mirrors to the heavens above. Seagrass meadows ripple like fields of emerald fire. They are nurseries for countless lives, gentle and safe. Young fish dart among the blades, hidden from hunters. Seahorses cling with tails curled, swaying with the current. Their fragile grace is a hymn to patience and care. Crabs wander through, leaving trails like forgotten runes. Each life here begins a story that will travel far. Poseidon walks these places with a quieter step. He feels the tides shift beneath his every breath. For the tides are not random. They are memory in motion. They are the sea breathing, rising and falling in time. Every wave that meets the shore carries a story. It washes away footprints, yet leaves whispers behind. It teaches that nothing is lost, only carried forward. The tides are keepers of balance, soft yet eternal. They remind mortals that all things return, again and again. In tidal pools, tiny worlds bloom for but a moment. Starfish stretch across stones, patient and still. Anemones wave their colors like banners in the sun. Shells scatter like jewels, treasures shaped by time. Children once played with them, not knowing their stories. Mortals saw beauty. Poseidon saw history. Every shell carried the song of its maker. Every stone bore the mark of waves uncounted. The tides hold these truths without effort or pride. They simply rise, they simply fall, steady as breath. Poseidon listens to them as one listens to a heartbeat. They tell him the ocean's rhythm, never broken. Even storms cannot silence them for long. When chaos passes, the tides always return. They cleanse, they heal, they restore what was lost. And Poseidon smiles, for this is the sea's promise, a promise of renewal, carried in every tide. Mortals forget, yet the ocean remembers. It teaches through rhythm, through endless return. Nothing is wasted, nothing is gone forever. All flows back, all belongs again. And so Poseidon walks the shifting shores. He kneels in tidal pools, watching life shimmer. He feels the moon's hand on the water's skin. He breathes with the rise and fall, steady and calm. The tides are his hymn, ancient and pure. They remind him that eternity is not stillness. It is movement, gentle and endless. It is the flow between beginning and end. Even the abyss breathes through the tide. Even the darkest depths feel its pull. It unites every drop of water from shore to trench. It binds the ocean as one living being. And Poseidon, keeper of this breath, honors it always. For without the tide, the sea would wither. Without renewal, the abyss would fade. But with every rise, with every fall, life is reborn. The tides carry this truth to mortals, softly, in every wave that touches their feet, in every pool that reflects their faces, in every rhythm that calls them back to the shore. The truth that nothing ends, all returns. The sea remembers, the tide restores. And Poseidon, eternal, keeps the rhythm alive. The ocean has no final chapter, only endless tides. Its story flows beyond time, carried by waves eternal. Poseidon stands within it, neither beginning nor end. He is the breath between storms, the calm after rain. Every current remembers him. Every tide bears his name. Yet he does not claim the sea as his throne. He claims it as his home, his blood, his soul. The abyss is not emptiness, but fullness of life. It is not silence, but chorus sung by countless voices. It is not fear, but wonder without boundary. Poseidon walks through it like a keeper of memory. He gathers the songs of whales, the laughter of dolphins. He carries the patience of turtles, the wisdom of reefs. He holds the rhythm of tides as if it were his heart. And in truth, it is. For without the sea, he would not be eternal. And without him, the sea would lose its memory. Together, they are bound, guardian, and realm as one. The abyss teaches him as much as he tends it. It whispers of stillness, of harmony, of belonging. It tells him eternity is not power, but balance. And so he keeps it, not with force, but with care. Mortals who gaze upon the shore seldom understand. They see waves crash, but not the song behind them. They hear thunder, but not the lullaby beneath it. They take shells, but not the stories they carry. Yet sometimes, if they are quiet, they hear a whisper in the tide, a call in the wind, a truth older than kingdoms, older than stars, that the sea is alive, eternal, and whole, and that within its depth is a bond unbroken. Poseidon listens always, for he knows this truth, that even gods are part of something greater, that even power bows before the song of life. The abyss does not worship him, it walks with him. It teaches him, loves him, and endures with him. He is not its ruler, but its eternal companion. And that is the deepest secret of the sea. The eternal abyss is not a place of fear. It is a place of belonging, open to all who listen. It invites mortals, gods, and creatures alike to learn, to see that eternity is not distance, but closeness, not silence, but harmony shared across endless waters. Poseidon smiles when he feels mortals listen, when they leave footprints in sand with reverence, when they cast prayers into waves not with fear, but hope, when they learn that to love the sea is to belong. This is the gift of the abyss, gentle and strong. It gives without demand, it teaches without voice. Its truth is carried in every rising tide, and its memory is kept forever in Poseidon's heart. The waves will outlast kingdoms, outlast empires. The reefs will bloom and fade and bloom again. The tides will rise and fall, unbroken as breath. And Poseidon will remain eternal keeper of the deep. Not to rule, not to conquer, but to remember. Not to command, but to belong. The sea and its God, bound in eternal song. Together, they are proof that eternity is alive. Alive in song, alive in silence, alive in memory. The abyss whispers this truth to all who will listen, that the sea is eternal, and so is love.